What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Prediction Center here on Three-Sided Box. NHL Playoff Edition 2017 Playoffs finally here. All of our teams are finally in it, and by all of us, I mean Johnny as well, who could not join us due to tax season and scheduling. Just it couldn't happen. I can't do it tomorrow, the filming, and it just would have been crazy. And this is the only day I was able to film, so we're here. I got his picks. And I am excited. Ottawa's finally back in the playoffs after a little bit of a break. So it's good to be back home because I've only seen my team in the playoffs when I was growing up. So with that, let's jump into the first predictions. We're going to jump into the Eastern Conference. The Montreal Canadiens against the New York Rangers. The #1 seed in the Atlantic versus the #1 wildcard team. Do you have winning this one?
I'm going to pick New York in 7. I know that Carey Price kind of has New York's number, but and I know a lot of Habs are confident saying, oh, we're going to win in 5, we're going to win in 6. You know, like it's as if they're not even considering just how good New York is. I know that they have dropped off over the years, but they're still definitely one of the top to bottom. If you look at just line for line, they're definitely one of the top teams in the league. And if they weren't in such a hard division, they probably could have won the Atlantic, you know.
Yeah.
You know, if they were in your division. So I'm going to go with New York.
And 7. Okay. Well, Johnny can't pick because it's his team, even though he's a half LA, half Montreal fan. But regardless, that's our rule here on the show, just to avoid any bias. I am, mind you, there's a lot of bias in this pick coming up right now, but not the type you think. I am going to pick the New York Rangers to win in 5 games. The Montreal Canadiens are not as good as their record shows. Claude Julien has done, he should win Coach of the Year considering he had a winning record.
Well, you know what, he's done a really good job though, Julien.
We'll see what happens going forward, sure. But I don't believe in this team. And you know what, the honest to God truth is, and not any bias, but the Rangers are a dangerous team. They're a lot more dangerous than they seem, and their seeding is going to deceive how good they actually are. So good luck to the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on to the next matchup. Next up, we got my team's matchup. We got the Ottawa Senators going up against the Boston Bruins. The #2 in the Atlantic versus the #3 in the Atlantic. Ottawa's #2. I cannot pick, so I'll shoot it to you.
I think this is like one of the series that really is hard to pick. It could really go either way. Both teams, like Ottawa's been obviously a very good team throughout the whole season, slumping a little bit lately, but Boston's been surging.
It's been good the last week. We were on a 4-game winning streak up until the last game of the year where we rested half of our roster. So.
Yeah, that's true. But with that being said, I'm still going to go on Ottawa in 7. There's a thing with Guy Boucher where every single first year he has, and at any level, he always goes to the conference final. So I'm kind of going to go with that. And it starts at the first round, so I'm going to go to Ottawa in 7 games.
Alright, I'll let you give Johnny's pick too.
Johnny has Boston in 7. Like I said, it's still a really...
it's a close matchup, but also Ottawa's undefeated against Boston this year. And I don't remember the exact record, but I don't think we've lost in regulation to them in a year and a half or 2 years or something like that. So we'll see what happens with...
And you're avoiding all that Battle of Ontario kind of
thing. Which is what I was hoping for. I wanted Boston over New York and Toronto, to be honest with you. And Montreal. I definitely did not want to play the Habs either. So, that's it. Let's move on. Next matchup.
Alright, so next up we got Washington going up against Toronto. Heavy favorite, obviously, towards Washington. One of the Cup favorites. But we do say that every year. So, with that being said, what is your pick?
I'll kick it off with Johnny. He's got Toronto in 7. Excuse me, my mouth is full. I'm eating Greek cookies.
Your mouth is full literally because of that, like what he wrote. And
that too, exactly. Figuratively and metaphorically. Toronto, I don't know what he's thinking. I didn't actually have to have a long conversation with him. He just sent me his picks, so I'll find out probably tomorrow. So he's got Toronto in 7. I'm gonna pick Washington in 5. Toronto is gonna get that 1 win in their first game, and you know, I don't know if it's Jurassic Park, if it's the Leaf Square, if it's Toronto Square. There's always a fucking nickname for these places. I don't give a shit. Leafs suck. Caps for me in 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna completely agree with exactly what you said. Washington in 5. They are top to bottom, obviously the superior team. I would like to see Toronto pull off the upset. It's nice to see them back in the playoffs. I think that they do have a good future, and I think Mike Babcock should be coach of the year, to be honest, from what he did with that, average roster at best. Like I said, I just don't think it's time for Toronto. I think they're a couple of years away, so I'm going to pick Washington in 5.
Alright, next match.
Alright, so next up, we got another great battle in the Metropolitan, another kind of interesting one. We got Pittsburgh against Columbus.
Matchup that shouldn't happen.
Matchup that shouldn't happen
in the first round.
Yeah, it should happen in the first round, exactly. What do you got?
I'm going to pick Pittsburgh in 6. Columbus had a pretty good year, but I do lean more towards the fluke side of it than the actual legitimacy behind it. They were terrible last year. They've been terrible for a while, minus a couple of odd years here and there when they've been decent. They have a very good young, they have a good young roster, but I don't think it's. They could make the playoffs as like a wild card or a third seed in the division, but not at that many points. There's no way that's possible. Not yet, at least. They're still a piece or two away and a year or two away, in my opinion. So I got Pittsburgh in 6.
I got Pittsburgh in 7. Kind of similar to you. I kind of lean towards not the fluke side, but I lean more towards the experience side. Experience plays a huge factor. Columbus doesn't have a lot of experience, obviously, even though 3 years ago I believe they made the playoffs, but kind of different team. They have a lot of rookies like Wenberg and Werenski, sorry, it's a really hard name to say, who are good players, but like I said, I don't think it's time for them. I think Pittsburgh takes us in 7. It's going to be a good one, though. I think that this is going to be one of the best series of the first round.
I don't know about that. Johnny's got Pittsburgh in 6, too. Who knows why. Next match. We're in the Western Conference now. First matchup is your matchup. I'll let you kick it off.
Well, we got, your fantasy. We got your Chicago Blackhawks. Your second team.
I don't have a second team.
Heading in. Well, not heading in. We're heading into the Bandwagon Center to play the Blackhawks.
Bandwagon doesn't know anybody, but claims it to be Bandwagon.
My National Predators are going to play the Blackhawks. So I can't pick, obviously, but go ahead.
Well, I'm going to pick the Hawks in 6. I think Nashville has a huge weakness in their team, and his name is PK Subban. The guy is a liability. He's not that good, nor has he ever been that good. David Poile should get shot for trading Weber for him. In my opinion, a bag of pucks is not worth PK Subban's whole career.
It's gotten better.
Whatever. And yeah, that's I like the Preds. I don't like PK Subban. So Hawks in 6, and I'll give a little woo just to throw it in there.
Who did Johnny pick?
But yeah, and then Johnny has the Chicago Blackhawks in 4. He picked the clean sweep, baby. I didn't even know that. I just read it now for the first. He's got the brooms out for this one, baby.
It's really interesting how I feel every year, regardless of whether we win the cup or not, we're always a really tough challenge in the playoffs. And it's sickening how much disrespect.
You guys are, but you don't have Shea. What disrespect? I give you 6 games.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general from anybody.
Anybody. Johnny. Again, random. Imagine you think so much with your head.
ESPN put their predictions.
Oh, ESPN and hockey. That's a reliable source.
Even TSN put.
TSN with their leaf fucking jerk off.
Exactly.
Reliable sources.
Okay. Well, there's no reliable sources because everything's subjectivity. Anyways, point is that nobody gives the respect we deserve. All right.
Okay.
And whether
we'll hear more about this in the podcast later on. I got the Preds losing in 6. Well, don't you want to go on a nice, genuine rant for everyone to listen?
Well, I just wanted to say, stop disrespecting us because we're coming.
We'll see about that. You're definitely a worse team than you were last year in terms of lack of Shea Weber, and look at the jersey he's wearing, everybody. Shea Weber. There's no 7 here. It's just a 6. There ain't no Weber on the back. There ain't no Subban on the back. It's Weber. So don't talk to me until you know about Patrick Arvidsson and
James Neal.
And the other guy I always make fun of. Anyways, doesn't matter. Next match. Our next matchup has the Minnesota Wild heading in to battle the St. Louis Blues at some point. I don't know who has home ice advantage. I just
Minnesota
said
has home ice.
Well, then St. Louis is going into Minnesota first. Yeah, who do you got?
If this series started halfway through the season, I would say St. Louis has absolutely no chance.
Mm-hmm.
But Minnesota has been absolutely god-awful since March.
Yeah.
And we all know that you have to be, decent, if not doing really well, heading into the playoffs to do any damage for the most part, for most teams actually. So I'm going to pick St. Louis in 6. I think Minnesota is really on a slump. I don't think that with Bruce Boudreau they have the mental fortitude to overcome that. I think his flaws are really being shown, and I don't know. I just don't believe Minnesota. I'm going to pick St. Louis in 6.
Johnny's got Minnesota in 5. I don't know why again. Mike Yeo is the coach of the Blues.
Yeah.
And in typical Johnny fashion, there's always a storyline here. There's always some sort of redemption. Mike Yeo's gonna win in 6, in my opinion. Give me your water. Holy crap. Jesus Christ.
Drink from the lips.
Mike Yeo's gonna win it in 6 games with the Blues. Minnesota, I think they need to completely revamp that team. They got all those acquisitions of Suter, Parise, they got Boudreau in, they got Dubnyk, who's apparently a good goalie all of a sudden. Been bad his whole career up until then. So who knows? But I got them in 6, you got them in 6, and Johnny's got the Wild in 5. Next match.
Alright, so next up, we got Anaheim against Calgary. Calgary, just fun fact, has not won a single game, including playoffs, in Anaheim in like 11 years.
I think the last time they did win was a playoff game.
Quite possibly.
I could be wrong. So, I don't really care.
Anyways, I'm going to kick it off with you.
Well, I'll throw it off with Johnny because I didn't think about it, to be honest with you. Anaheim in 7 for Johnny. I think he's giving way too much credit to the Flames. As much as they've been good the end of the year, the Ducks have been quietly very good the second half of the season.
And that's where they're most dangerous.
And I think they've won 25 straight home games. I could be wrong, but I'm 99% sure I'm not. I'm pretty sure they've won 20 straight.
I know it's
games.
something like that.
So I'm picking the Ducks to win in 5. I'm picking them to win in 5. Yeah.
I think with the kind of home stat, I think it's gone to the heads a little bit of Calgary. Anaheim has clearly owned them. I think Anaheim, you saw like a couple of years ago with Bruce Boudreau at the helm. Every year they always had hype. They have this, they have that. This year finally they don't have anything, and we all know when they don't have hype surrounding them, they usually make some noise. At least go like conference finals or something like that. So I'm gonna go Anaheim in 6. Like I said, this is probably the best matchup they could ask for.
Yeah. Well, when I say they've won 25 straight home games, I don't mean against the Flames.
No,
I mean this season they've done it. It's just to clear up the air a little bit. So we all got Anaheim 7, 5, and 6. Next match.
All right. So next up, we got the revived Edmonton Oilers, who
the revival.
Exactly.
We go hard. Yeah. It's a wrestling joke.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get it because it's an NXT thing.
Anyways.
Shout out to all the wrestling fans out there.
Anyway, we got the revamped, renewed Edmonton Oilers back in the playoffs after 10 years.
11.
11?
Well, they didn't make it since they went to the final.
Anyways, okay, and this team's very similar to the Raiders, by the way. So I'm very happy for you guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot the Raiders have a once-in-a-generation player. I forgot.
Oh, Derek Carr.
Oh, he's definitely once-in-a-generation.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the game. We got them playing San Jose, who's been slumping a little bit.
Who has home ice in this?
San Jose. No, Edmonton. Edmonton.
They won the division?
Yep. No. Anaheim won division. Edmonton won second.
San Jose finished 3rd.
They've been really
Holy
slumping.
Shit.
Thornton and Couture might not make it for the playoffs.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll throw it off with Johnny's pick. Where is it?
Bottom left.
Edmonton in 6. Wow. I don't read my text messages apparently because I had no idea. I'm going to pick the Sharks in 6. I think their playoff experience will be enough to at least get into the second round. Mind you, teams will go to the finals the next year in the playoffs. I mean, I'm not going to say they tend to do bad because that could be completely false. But from my own experience, the Senators got swept.
There's a little bit of a hangover.
Yeah. Peter DeBoer sucks. But I'm still going to pick them in 6.
I'm going to pick San Jose in 7. I was really tempted to pick Edmonton, but honestly, I think top to bottom, I think even without Thornton and Couture, they just have a really deep team. I mean, alone Brent Burns has 75 points, I think, or something like that. So like that guy's already a handful offensively, and he's a really good defenseman defensively. So I think there's just too much to contain in San Jose. I think Connor McDavid's gonna have a really good playoff, but
hope so.
I think that their third and fourth line are gonna get
He
burned.
finds a little personality in the playoffs too.
Yeah, exactly. So I got San Jose in 7, but I'm kind of secretly hoping for an Edmonton.
Yeah, I think Edmonton winning would be cool. I'm not anti-Edmonton by any means.
Exciting team.
But they're a true young up and coming team that's going to be very dangerous in the future. So watch out for them. But Johnny's the only one who believes in them to get past the first round in 6. I got San Jose in 6. You got San Jose in 7. That's been it, guys, for round 1 of the NHL predictions for the 2017 playoffs. Just a quick note: we have a podcast that we're going to go film right now, or record, I should say, because there's no visual, it's all audio. The quality, just a fair warning, is not the greatest, but it's good enough to listen to. It's not like distorted or crazy. Just there's a bit of echoing at times, but we're working on that, and we're gonna continue the conversation. We're gonna go into depth. Usually our prediction videos are a lot longer because we spend a lot of time talking about it, but we've decided to make a podcast to do that, make these videos shorter, so we can have a nice long conversation for about an hour and a half, depending on how long they go. About all kinds of stuff. We've done Power Rangers, WrestleMania 33. What was the first one?
The NHL.
The NHL preview. Their review. Sorry, the mid-season review. More like last 2 weeks of the season review. And we're gonna do one for every single round of the playoffs after the round previewing the next one. We're not really gonna talk about the ones preceding it. Just maybe a little bit, but not too much detail. So guys, please tune in for that. There will be a SoundCloud link in the description below, and it will be on YouTube as well. So whichever one you prefer to listen to it on, we give you all the options. So go check it out. Please subscribe if you haven't, guys. Really appreciate it. Like the video. Comment your picks down below because we love to talk to you guys and have a nice conversation. And of course, share it with your friends. We really, really do appreciate it. And of course, guys, we will see you next time. Enjoy round 1. We'll see you for round 2 in a couple weeks. Take care, guys.